Hello and welcome to May 27th, where we're reading 1 Kings 3 and 4. Now, these chapters introduce Solomon. He has been the king of bloodshed who had to do some forcible things to establish himself on the throne, but now in chapter 3, he becomes this king of peace. He steps into his own, he encounters God for the first time, and he gets to see the consequences of encountering God. It is a good chapter. It helps to solidify Solomon's good character, and it's a much better start to his reign than whatever chapter 2 was. Even though chapter 2 was essential, I'm glad we're in chapter 3. And so if you're interested in what actually goes on in these chapters, chapter 3 is the story where God actually appears to Solomon personally. Essentially, Solomon is out sacrificing. He sacrifices to God, but he sacrifices in a bunch of different places. He doesn't sacrifice in the tabernacle like he should, not on the altar that God had authorized. He's on many different altars, and God says, don't do that. God appears to Solomon and asks Solomon, what do you want from me? God confirms who he is. He shows himself to Solomon in some way. Solomon ends up asking for wisdom, and God says, that's a good request. I'll give you wisdom and a lot of other stuff. Just make sure that you're faithful to me. And after that, Solomon is faithful and sticks sacrificing on the right altars with God. Of course, he demonstrates his wisdom in the second half of chapter 3. That covers the relatively famous story where there are two women who both had children, but one of them accidentally killed their child and then swapped it with the other one. And so it's this big confusing question, and Solomon basically sorts it out wisely, and everyone is very impressed with his wisdom. Once you get into chapter 4, it starts to get a little bit kind of monotonous and boring. Chapter 4 is more about who's in Solomon's court and how much stuff Solomon has. And so it names off a bunch of people that we'll never hear about again, and it names off a bunch of stuff that he has that I don't have, and that makes me jealous because, my goodness, this man had a lot of food every single day. He's well provided for, he's very wealthy, he's very wise. God has blessed him. He has a good cabinet ruling with him, he has good advisors who are helping him out. He's got so much food, he's got so much capability, he's made proverbs, he's made songs, he is great. That's who Solomon is at this point anyway. And so, thanks to God's blessing, Solomon has been put up in a very high position. I wonder what he's going to do with that position. We'll see tomorrow when we read 1 Kings 5, 6, and 7.